everybody. Okay, today I'm going to be doing a half up, half down updo style, and we're going to do sort of a braided crown that wraps around the back of her head. And then the rest is going to be beachy waves, and so this is really great for bridesmaids or a bride who has more of like a boho wedding feel. So to start out, I just brushed through her hair, and her hair is fairly long, so we have a lot to work with. And what I'm going to do first is take the crown section, and I'm going to pin that down before I do anything else. And so her hair has a natural part that's pretty strong down the middle. And so what I'm going to do is use texture spray to get rid of that part and a little bit of back combing, because I don't want it to have too much volume. I want this to look a little bit more natural and boho feeling than a really formal do. So section by section I'll go through and use texture spray, and I'm using the Big Sexy Hair Play Dirty because it's a little bit stronger than other ones, a little bit stickier, and works well for hair that has really stubborn parts or just needs a little bit of help. So go through and do about 3 or 4 sections in the crown, and then you're going to just back comb a little bit to get rid of the part. So I'll go through and back comb just slightly, like this. And then I'm actually going to twist this section and pin it down. So we'll do 3 sections of back combing. And the texture spray really helps give it just a little bit of grip and hold, so it doesn't want to keep separating. So you can kind of finger comb through it a little bit here. And then I'll start with the middle, and I'm going to take just a piece of it like this and twist it. And I'll pull it just a little bit to give a little bit of texture and lift, and then pin it with a bobby pin. And then I'm going to do the same thing on each side. Her hair is a little on the thicker side, so that's why I'm doing it in 3 sections. If the hair is really fine, you could take this all in one piece and twist it and pull it apart. So I'll twist this one and then just pull it apart just a little bit and pin that one, and then do the same thing on the last side. So right here through the crown. So I'll twist and just pull, and having that texture spray in there, when you pull it, the hair will stay rather than falling back into the pattern of the part. All right, so once you've done that, then you can give it a little bit of a hairspray to make sure it stays and is the right amount of volume and the look that you want. Okay, so this is gonna be our base, and then we're gonna do a braid starting at the top of her hair and wrap it around underneath. So I've already sectioned out the front, and I am leaving a little bit of hair in front left out. And then I'm gonna start at the very top of her hair, and I'm gonna do a classic French braid. And I'll just start at the top, and I'm gonna hold it pretty loosely. And the thing you wanna make sure when you're doing the braid at the top is to stand directly in front of the braid and move with it as you go around the hair, around the head. Because if you don't, then you're gonna have pieces that will kind of bubble out. So that's why I'm standing right here. And then as I go around the head, I'm gonna move her and myself so I stay directly behind the braid. So I'll take a little bit of hair from each side, and I'm taking it from the front, braiding it in, and then once I get to around here, I don't want to take too much hair from this section anymore, because then you'll start to see the braid, and I don't want to see any hair being pulled here. I want that to be covered. So I'm just going to continue braiding, but I'm not going to gather any more hair. Like I said, I'll turn her like this, so I'm directly behind the braid. And then once I get to where the bobby pins are, I'm going to keep braiding across, and then I'll pick the hair back up again. So we're going to go this way, and then once I get over the bobby pins where my back combing is, that's when I'll pick it up again. And that will help connect the braid, because I want to wrap it all the way around her head. So I'm only taking from the top section, and you'll pull a little bit here and keep turning so you don't get any gaps or bubbles. So I'll turn her all the way like this, and then I'm just going to go ahead and finish the braid off, and you can just have a little clip in place or a ponytail holder for the end. And when we get to the bottom of it, then I'll pull it out and make it a little bit looser. But for now, we're just going to do regular 3-strand braid. And this looks really pretty with a fishtail braid as well. or you can do an inside out braid too, which also looks really nice. So we'll stop almost to the bottom. I'm just gonna secure it with a little clip. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. So I've left out a section of her hair right here. And I'm gonna start at the top and do the same style of braid, just a regular 3-strand. And holding it loosely, I'm leaving hair out in the front because I want her to have some hair left around her face. And then I'm just gonna follow the braid behind. And you wanna hold it really loosely because we want this look to be soft and boho and not too tight. So by leaving pieces out in front, we have hair left to curl and work with. So once you get to where the other braid is, where they connect like so, I'm actually gonna go over this braid. So I'm gonna stop picking up hair and go over it. That way I'm hiding this section right here where this hair is being pulled into the braid, so you won't see it. And I'm just gonna loosely braid this one as well. And so once I get about almost down to the bottom, then I'll start to pull it out to make it a little bit fuller. So what you can do here is start by just, people say pancaking the hair out and making it really soft and loose. And you can do that as big as you want, or if you don't want it to be super big, you can just pull it out a little bit. If the person that you're working with has really, really fine hair, then you can add some extensions in, just like 1 or 2 pieces up in here will help make this braid a lot fuller. So you can see already it's looking really a lot fuller. And her hair, she's got a lot of it. It's not super thick on this side, so I need to pull this side out a little bit more than the other side to make them match. And then I'll go all the way down to the bottom because I want to wrap this one around the top of her head as well. So I'll just braid this to the bottom, and then I'm going to put a little hair tie at the bottom and just save it for the end. All right, so now this one we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take this and we're just gonna pull this one out like this. So I like to start kind of halfway down because if you braid all the way to the bottom and then you start pulling the hair out, you're gonna run out of hair. It's all gonna get bunched up in it. So especially with long hair, you wanna stop about halfway through and start pulling it out. And just make it as loose as you want it. And then what you'll do is finish off the braid once it's as loose as you want. So this one's pretty loose. So then I'll go through and just finish braiding. And you can hold it fairly loosely because it's gonna go around over the top of her head. And like I said, if you wanna use some extensions, you don't even have to get like the really good quality kind. You can get the kind of extensions that are synthetic and you don't need to add any heat to it. And those you can just wrap in at any of these points, and it just gives the braid a little bit more fullness, a little bit more thickness, and I mean, they're really only a couple dollars, $2 to $5 to have those on hand for someone who wants a thick braid but maybe doesn't have the hair for it. So when I'm done with the braid, then I will secure it, and then we're gonna wrap it around to make it into a crown braid. So what I'll do here is I'm gonna bring it around the top of her head like this, and then I'm just gonna use a clip to temporarily hold it on this side and then bring it to the other side. So her hair is pretty long, so I have the option to bring it all the way around, and then I'm just gonna tuck it into this braid and hide the ends. So if she has a lot of hair at the ends, you might want to braid it down a little bit farther. For her hair, I'm going to tuck it in, and then I'm just going to take these ends and pull it through, just like that. And then what you can do is just take a bobby pin and you hide the end of it underneath this braid. So I'll push it in, just like that. And so then the end is hidden away. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'll bring this across, and I'm going to have it hide my bobby pins that I secured here, and bring it up. And with this here, it doesn't want to reach all the way across. So instead of bringing it all the way across the top, what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to tuck up the ends like this. So I'm just going to wrap it into like a little loop, wrap it around, and I'm gonna tuck it underneath this braid as well. So I'll take another clip just to help hold it up. And then I'm just gonna tuck it in to her hair here. And for hers, I'm gonna actually double it under. And then again, use a bobby pin just to hide that away. So if you use extensions or if her hair is really long, you might be able to get it all the way around to the top of the head. The other thing you can do is if her hair is not this long at all, you can just do 2 braids and then crisscross them and tuck them underneath each other. So then basically what you want to do at the end is go through and secure bobby pins with the braid all the way around. So I like to take my pins and stick them into the braid like this and then push them in the opposite direction. And that helps the braid stay really secure, and it also helps hide the pin because you don't want to see it. So I'm going to push it like this away from me and then push it towards me. And then you can kind of pull the braid out a little bit. I'll do the same thing over here to make sure it really stays secure. So we'll do that in probably 3 or 4 places, especially if it's a wedding and not just like a photo shoot and you need it to last all night. You want to make sure it's really, really secure. And especially this piece up here because you don't want this to slip out either. So I'll put one just right in front and then take this out. So at this point you can do a little hairspray. And if you notice, I didn't actually do any curling or anything to her hair before I started because it can be kind of a waste of time to spend all that time if you're going to be putting a majority of it into a braid. So that's why I just brush through it and then I wait till the end. So then what I'll do at the end is go through and take my wand curling iron and I'm just going to make some really loose beachy waves around her face, and then you can go through and do it through the whole back. But especially if you're on a time crunch, you end up spending a lot of time doing prep and curling, and then when a lot of it goes up into a braid, you end up not even seeing those curls when it's all said and done. So that's why I like to do that last. And with this look, sometimes you don't even need to curl it that much if they have naturally wavy hair. You can just leave it as it is. And then the other thing that you can do is add some flowers, or if you have a hair accessory or anything like that, that can be a really nice touch to doing a little bit of this really simple crown braid. So I'm just gonna go through and do that. And that is how you would complete the half up, half down crown braid. We bring you in a little bit closer so you can see it. So she's got texture on top, the braid all the way around, and it's really simple, really pretty. It looks really nice, especially with hair that has dimension like hers. So she's got some highlights and that looks really pretty. And that's it. So if you like this video, you can go to YouTube and subscribe. And if you haven't signed up for my bridal business course yet, you can get that at the www.theupdocollective.com. Okay, thank you. Bye.